Chapter 10, we're going to be a quick look at the chart types that are available in Intrepid. And obviously we've got the transit showing right away, and if we go to this outer menu, we'll notice that there are a lot of options. There are arc-directed, and in the arc-directed you can choose to do a planetary or a sun or moon arc-directed. And as I mentioned, if you click on the derived time in one of those, it'll go to a converse. We also do harmonic charts, 2nd through 9th. And there's a discussion of the harmonic charts and their meanings in the user manual. The progressions we have mentioned a bit before. We have the standard day per year. And down here we can do the ascendant derived or progress derived so that you don't have to switch in and out of different types of day per year. And the next 5 are ones that I have invented, day per lunation, lunation per year, etc. And we give you 3 converses, day per year, day per lunation, and lunation per year. Now one might think that since I have focused on the lunation cycle, which is roughly 29.5 days, rather than the lunar return, which is roughly 27.5 days, that I might throw out the minor and tertiary and say, oh well, I've got a better one to H with the tertiary and minor. But I don't think that's a wise idea. I think tertiary and minor have their use as long as we remember that it is not necessarily as visible, and it has to do with the moon returning to its natal position. We also provide rotated or Arabic point charts, and we use the word rotated rather than Arabic points because what they are is what they are. They are rotations of the chart. And instead of offering the normal sun rotated to ascendant, and that's all you can do, we allow you to go to any house cusp you want. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way to the 12th. Each house has a meaning, so why not allow someone to experiment with the meaning of rotating a chart to one of those positions, and you may rotate the sun, moon, and the planets, and of course in any of those house cusps that you want to rotate to, you can rotate any of those. So in essence, put very simply, you can create any kind of rotated chart that can be created, and that's about the size of it. You can also save a chart, and if you're playing, let's say in particular, let's clear this off, and we're messing around, and let's say we'll move the time in a few minutes, and we'll move it a few minutes forward, and we're watching the aspects change, and we say, oh gee, you know, maybe that is the real rectified birth time of Capel McCutcheon. We just go to save, and it'll allow us, notice it already puts in Capel and McCutcheon and the previous comments. Now here I've got to add one more comment, so I'll just put equals question mark, because it doesn't really mean anything, and we hit OK. And if we go back and take a look at the birth database, which is a command 8, command 9 for Capel, I believe. Notice we've got that new one has just been added in. So it's a quick way to duplicate a chart. These are actually the same times. If we click on this one and look over to the left, we see 4 April 801. And we click up above here, it's still 4 April 7. Oh, I'm sorry, 7:30. We did change it. Excuse me. You can either copy it or build one that is slightly different, and that's the quick way to do it. Now we've already showed the relationship and composite. One last thing you might want to do, you might want to relocate a birth. And to do that, you just follow through with the locations. Let's say that instead of being born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, let's see what he would have looked like if he had been born in the city of Alberta, Minnesota. So we've relocated his birth. But we say, uh-oh, let's go back to where it was. So now a new option comes up, birth revert. So once you've messed around with the birth and you want to bring it back, birth revert will be there, and bingo, that brings us back to his original Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania location. Now one new feature again for level 2 of Intrepid is we have heliocentric charts. Heliocentric down here is an option, and The thing to remember when you go into heliocentric is that only a birth or a transit can go into heliocentric. If you have a progression, it won't go, because progressions and arc directions are not defined in the heliocentric. We go heliocentric, and bingo, it will get heliocentric. If we save, we can save this chart. It can be exported. If we go off of this and we move to user chart number 2, it'll say, do we want to keep this as a heliocentric chart? It's a reminder that we've now changed this. Let's say that, oh, no, we don't want to give up the original chart. So we can still go back to the tropical, and bingo, it took us back to the tropical. And if that had been a tri-wheel, which we can do very quickly by expanding it, put that to a tri-wheel, node will go into heliocentric, and we will drop only to now the birth and the transit only carry over into the heliocentric. But if we go back to the tropical, bingo, we've gone back to our tri-wheel. So Intrepid will keep that in memory temporarily as long as you don't go to another user chart. And in quick fashion, those are the different chart types that you can do in Intrepid, and that ends Chapter 10.